Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. All right, we're up here at the Buffalo Hole. Oops, I thought I had a hit right there. Yeah, starting off with the ultralight, the Crappie Thunder from Mr. Crappie. I've got a 6 cents flush on there. Just kind of twitching it. I'm gonna throw the little hover rig from Core Tackle on a 6 cents little juggle minnow. So just kind of pitching it around. Hey, if you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate all the support. And check that out. Looks good. Yeah, it's a windy day. It's a kind of a bummer, but still thankful for the opportunity to fish and pitch some stuff around. The sun's trying to peek out a little bit. So we're gonna see what kind of a day we can get out of this. I've got the dead cat on the GoPro, which is supposed to kind of mute that wind, but I don't know about that. We'll see. All right, guys, we're hooked up on the 6 cents flush. Just pitching it around down there. It's a nice little largie. There he is, right there. Boy, it's not a very old fish either. Check that out. There you go, buddy. This is it right here. Just pitching it out there. Got this on the ultralight, the Crappie Magnet. Not bad at all. A little screw-in hook right there from 6 cents. You can also nose hook it and pitch it around. Works out pretty well. We've got crazy wind today, but I'm just letting it free fall, and then I just twitch. You can see the wind blowing it in. I've got this 4-pound line. So I let it sit there on the bottom for a little bit, and then I tighten it up and just give it a twitch. So the fish are a little lethargic, being that it's this time of year. But it's got a nice swimming action because it's got like the wings on it. Look at that. So I tested the hover rig also, and not ideal today with it being so crazy windy, but it does help to see how this all handles in the wind. I'm sure you guys are like, what's that racket? So now I'm going to switch to this Eyed Shad by Strike King. I love throwing these. I always catch fish on them. And at this lake in particular, I've caught some really nice bass on them. Well, just lipless in general, like the Hammer Trap, the Bill Lewis, Cotton Cordell, all of them. But you know what I think the key is to this? Is the big eye on them. They have that big eye. And there's also a silent one I'm going to throw that comes from Demiki. And then there's the Livingston Lures one, which they got a really nice one that has that EBS technology in there. I don't have that one with me today. That's in one of my other tackle bags, but man, that thing works really well too. I could see a ton of little bluegill and stuff down there. Starting to get a little more chop on the water. Yeah, it's a good color. Check that out. Look at that, you can cast that thing a country mile. So what I do is I let it sink all the way down there and then I just let it sit. It's about 20 feet out there. So I just kind of let it sit there on the bottom, and then I got tons of videos on this technique, especially from last year. I tighten the line up a little bit and I just pull straight up and then I let it drop. And then I'll count about 8 seconds, and sometimes there'll be one there, or I just keep doing the yo-yoing and I speed it up a little bit. I don't wait as long on the pauses. And then I've also caught them on a straight crank, just reeling it in. I need to come out here and fish at night one time. Throw the, what I call the Jimmy Zinker special. I know that he's kind of carried the torch on the musky-sized jitterbug for bass fishing, and he's perfected the modifications and stuff, but I've been talking to him. I think I've got mine dialed in. So maybe one of these fall wintry evenings, with it getting so dark, I can come out here and test it out. And the flats back over in that area, some flats over back in that area. See if I can coax a big bite. Look at that. Cast a country mile. They're my favorite lipless by far. I know the other ones are, they're all quality and they're all can catch fish, but for some reason I like these and the color choices they've got, and just the density of it when you need to get a cast out there. And the flutter on the way down is just so awesome. Alright guys, we're hooked up on this red-eyed shad. Ooh, well, that is a nice crappie. Check out this guy. Man, that's a nice crappie right there. All right, guys, there she is right there. Let's get her back in there. There she goes. Whoo! Man, that breeze. Whew. That's a stiff breeze, that's for sure. All right, guys, there it is. Check that out. I don't know what the color is. It's a bleeding perch, I think. That's all it took. Him to see that thing and bang. Man, Cassie's a country mile. I'm not feeling the grass like I did last year. They came in and sprayed a lot of it. It's not going to kill it. They said it'll just die back, stun it. I guess people, you know how people are always complaining about the grass. You got 20 foot depth and that grass would grow up, they were saying 10, 15 feet. But nobody really fishes out here. So I guess it was kayakers maybe. I don't know who was complaining, but, or maybe it was right in here at the dock where they do the stuff for the kids. Maybe that's what it was. All right, guys, I think we're hooked up. Unless I got some cabbage. Oh, no. I got twisted up is what it was. I felt a dunk. I got on a little piece of cabbage. I found kind of where the grass is, and then I gave it a quick pop and I got it hung on itself. And I was thinking, oh man, I got a fish. All right, guys, I'm gonna throw this Rapala Countdown minnow. I love this color, and they have different sizes in them, and it has caught me a ton of fish here in Texas and up in the Midwest. This is like a crappie killer. Can be a walleye killer too, so I let it sink. I'm about, I don't know, 15 to 18 feet of water. And then I just crank it a little bit, because they'll see it and they'll swim over to check it out. Then I kill it and then I crank it. It has a cool shimmy when it sinks. And that's pretty much it. If there's something lurking, they'll get onto it. Cast a country mile. Let her flutter down. So on this rig, I've got the Mags custom with a Shimano Miravel. And on this one, I've got the 12-pound Sunline Braid SX1 to the Sunline 12-pound fluoro leader. That's just my comfort zone, what works for me. Never had any issues with it. The reason I'm casting to that spot is I keep seeing the little blips on the surface. Those are the crappie coming up. There's one jumped right over there. I could hear him. I love coming out here to test lures, and this is one. I haven't thrown it in this size yet. I always throw the smaller, like the 4, 5, 6. Man, look at that thing. This is just a great color right there. All right, guys, we're hooked up on the Rapala Countdown minnow in kind of like a perch color. I was just letting it cruise around doing its thing. Crank it, kill it, crank it, kill it. What do we got here? Ooh, boy, we got a big crappie. Let's get him up. Come here. And, boy, that's a big crappie. It's a big pancake. Where are my tweezers? There we go. There we go. Well, it's a nice hog right there. All right, guys. There we go, right there. Down you go. Man, that was a nice fish right there. It's one of my favorite ones to throw. Man, that's a great color too. So it slowly shimmers down and then you just twitch it. So I've been working this area out here. Look at that castability even in this wind. So now let it kind of sink, flutter down. So if they they swim over to check it out. I don't want it to hit the bottom per se, and then I just slowly get it going. And this you can twitch it, but usually just crank and kill it. Crank and kill it works just fine. And let it do the work for you. They have different sizes in the Countdown minnows. It's just a fun way to fish. It's a good time of year to fish with it too. Sometimes you'll get followers. You gotta kind of have to be ready as soon as it comes up, as you're starting to bring it up, that you can get hit right at the boat or right at shore, the dock. So I'm fishing at about 15 feet of water, so I'm trying to count down how far I want it to go down. Then crank, 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 kill it. Crank, 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 kill it. Okay, now right here I real careful in case somebody's coming up there. It's got a nice swimming action. Man, that was a nice fish. Let's see if there's more over there. They're usually in a school. Cast really well on the wind too, because the wind is just crazy today. Alright guys, on the fall again, in that same spot. Remember, there is a school there. Well, he just smoked it. When I killed it is when he got it. Well, this is a big fatty right here. Up, 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 up. Man, this may be a PB right here for Texas. Come on, get out of there. Right there's a scale, just under 15. All right, there we go for the release. Those are good eaters too. Everyone's gonna be like, ah, you need to keep them and eat them. Not today. I don't want to say this is a do-nothing bait, but it's almost a do-nothing bait. Just crank, crank, crank. Let it creep down. Crank, 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 kill it. You can throw some twitches in there if you want to. But I like this because it's dense enough where you can get a good cast out there, and you just let it do its thing. You know, like I'm letting it sink. I'm counting it down, 4, 5, and then I start getting it going. Quick crank, and then I kill it, and then just some slower cranks, because a lot of times, real slow, the crappie like that. Yeah, this is fun to fish with, guys. Check them out. I always check on eBay for any older models. Okay guys, so now we're looking at some new technology. The Rapala is old school. This one's an 80mm Yozuri. It's a suspending jerkbait SP. So we're gonna see what it does. It's not a countdown, but it'll slowly get down there. Then I'm just gonna let it sit. Fish a little bit different because it suspends. So I can just let it hang there, you know. Crank it down to depth and let it hang there. It's crazy wind. And oddly enough, the wind can help because it'll pull it along. Look at that, yep, it's suspending. Sinks real slow, but that's a cool thing about this, is that the wind can pull it along a little bit as it suspends. Thump. Alright guys, I'm going to throw a little bit bigger snack because nothing on that Yozuri. This one is a Bomber Long A suspending, but it was produced under the Excalibur brand. But we're going to see if a little bit bigger snack will be tempting to them. It'll get down like 3 feet and it'll just hover there. Really light line, you can get it down a little bit deeper. Boy, I'm right in the strike zone right now. Check out that color. Oh, man, this thing is nice. The wind, the crazy wind, that's the only thing. Alright guys, this is one of these lures the kids at school got for me at the holiday shop. It's a little shop where they have a bunch of stuff kids can buy for presents for family and things like that. And this one had a treble on the bottom, but I put a little willow down here. I'd never seen a Bass Pro Shops swim bait with 2 hooks on it. So this thing stinks pretty good, and it's got that flash. So we'll see if I can catch something on it. I've got a video coming out on it where I used the spinnerbait version, where I rigged it on a jig spinner and I caught one. But this is a fun little thing to throw with that little willow on the bottom. It's like a little underspin type lure, but with a top hook. Since we're in the winter, I try to crank it real slow, you know. Oh, there we go. Jeez, I saw him come up and get it. Oh, and he spit it. I saw him come up and get it. That was me messing that up. Oh, man. I was so mesmerized that I saw him come up and hit it. I didn't let him, I should have let him take it a little bit more. You know what I mean? There we go, guys. It's a good fish. He just hammered it. This little swim bait that I got rigged on here. Look at that, it's a nice crappie. Ooh, it's a good fatty eater size. Check that out. Man, that's a great fish, guys. There it is, with the little underspin. Check that out. Gorgeous crappie right there. It's a white crappie. All right, let's let him go. Zoom! Just a real subtle approach here. So there's the bottom treble. I said this a million times, but I took that off, put a little willow blade on there, and they like that. And I just crank it real slow so it doesn't overwhelm them. You know, it's this time of year where you can see the flash down there. Doesn't take much. It helps that the sun's shining out there. It's kind of going in behind the clouds here and there. But with that little blade, it's refracting that light really nice. And then with it being dark, kind of a dark lure, it's giving it some really nice contrast. Alright guys, I switched to a Booyah lipless crankbait in that royal shad color. Check that out. Man, that's a great color. And some good vibration right there. I could cast it in the wind pretty good. So I usually let it fall and kind of sit there on the bottom. That way if there's some swimming around, they can come down and look at it. And then I just start doing the yo-yo. Just a simple yo-yo technique. But sometimes, like I was saying, I let it sit there. Because if they come over to look at it, you know what I mean? They're sitting above it and then you pop it up like that. Then a lot of times you'll have a bite right there. The Excalibur version of this sells for like 60, 70 bucks. I've even seen it up for 80. I've got one on the wall. So maybe one day I'll sell it, but right now it's just sitting there in my office. But then Booyah took that color and has made some really nice ones. It's got some really nice action. Alright guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me for today. Thanks for hanging out with me as I was testing some stuff, seeing what was what. Also tested out a new rod from Lew's on the bait caster. More on that in another episode. Thanks for hanging out with me, and until next time, I will see you then. Bye bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.